or what you would be generally doing at this job. Like, for instance, if you are applying for a legal internship and they want you to do research, I would think of a time where you performed research for another organization, or research for your class for a really big project, or research, just for anything else. And I would write about that specifically. So you could say, in the past, I have conducted research on, environmental law for my environmental law 101 class. The project was on geothermal energy. This is just coming up with this on the spot. And I think that my experience and knowledge of database systems and research methods would be very useful for this position as an intern, where I will be researching X, Y, and Z. So you want to talk about something specific. You don't want to talk about all the experience you've had, because again, that's your resume, but you want to highlight the specific instances where you've been successful doing a major task doing a task that's similar to the ones that you would be doing at this job, if that makes sense. Does anyone have any questions around that? You can see too in the samples that were provided, they talk about how their English coursework or their yearbook work helped them develop their strong writing skills and eye for detail, and how their job helped them to learn how to interact with different people. So they gave specific examples of how something they've done in the past will be helpful for them in this new job. So sometimes that's what you want to do. And honestly, it's a lot of practice. So the more you write cover letters, the better you get at them, to be honest, because you kind of are able to better understand what the hiring manager is looking for, and you learn more about how to show and showcase your accomplishments as a professional.
I have another question. What about like jobs? I'm applying to this job for the summer, and the job description is not like too specific on like what you would be tasked with. It's kind of just like overall type of stuff. Like, how do I write my cover letter in a way that'll kind of be like, I can do this, but not exactly in the way I can do this in the way that you want me to, but you don't know what it is you're talking about.
That's a good question. I would say if you can look up the job on that website that Miguel was talking about earlier, ONET. Let me see if I can find the link for that. And you can look up like similar jobs and what requirements exist for those jobs, and then kind of piece that together along with the information that you've gotten from the job description. So for instance, say you want a summer job as like a gardener at like the botanical gardens, right? The Brooklyn Botanical Gardens. And they're just like, we're looking for a gardener. And they don't give you any kind of descriptions. You can look up what kind of requirements there are for gardening jobs through this ONET online site. And then you can, pick and choose some things that you think would be important for that job and add it to your cover letter along with whatever they've already listed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And also, like, if it's not a very descriptive job description, if it's very vague, you don't have to write the most in-depth cover letter. you can just go off of what they've given you. And, you know, that should be enough, because if they only gave you a short just job description, then you can just take the information that they've given you and write a solid, shorter cover letter. Great questions, though. Anyone else? We just have a couple minutes left.
I have a quick question. So when I'm gonna get a bit personal about you. So when you were applying for jobs, did you have like a template of a cover letter for different jobs? Like did you recycle, or you wrote each a cover letter from the scratch?
That's a really great question. I definitely have different templates. So it depends on what kind of job I am applying for, I was applying for. So like if I was applying for counseling and advising jobs, I would use a specific template. If I was applying for a program manager job, I use a specific template. So it's always a good idea to save your cover letters, because if you're looking in a specific field, many of the job descriptions are similar. And so you can, you know, piece together a cover letter from some of your old ones. It's always really important, though, to always double check and review your cover letter, because the worst thing is if you submit a cover letter and it's supposed to be for like organization XYZ, but you put organization ABC in the cover letter, and that, I mean, you won't get offered an interview if you do that at all. So just always double check. Great question, though. All right. Any other questions? Okay, that's okay. So we also, you know, you have your iMentor mentors, and you also have program staff. So if you are just working on your cover letter for the first time tonight and you have more questions as you continue to work on it, you can always feel free to just reach out to your program manager or to your mentor, or both, depending on what you need. And we can schedule appointments to support you, to review your cover letters, to go over more specific techniques. But I hope you all found that this workshop was helpful, and that you're able to use the resources to get interviews and get the jobs and internships you want. I think we can now go back to the main room just in a couple of seconds.